So we're talking about crystals today, how things crystallize, how crystals are formed. I've got various examples of what is primarily quartz. Here's a fire quartz or hematic quartz that has been cut out of a slab and shaped into a point. Here is a smoky quartz that has been left in its natural shape, and it is the one that has the facets that resemble the coffin. I've got another smoky quartz that has been fashioned into a ball, and then I've got an agate, which is quartz. I'm assuming this is agate. It's a fossil, and it has fossilized the organic material into a quartz-like substance, but it is still stained with what remains in it, with what it was made from. It still has, you can feel the separation lines and things like that between that and the substrate, but the differences between what appears to be the shells and the stuff around it is not very significant. So when things are crystallizing in your life, you might not have the means to make adjustments in these crystals. These are hardened things that turn into things not always very beautiful. Sometimes they're beautiful, sometimes they're not very beautiful. And you need the help of a lama or a guru, someone more skilled, to decide, okay, we can consolidate these crystals into this, or I can substitute this for this. We can dissolve this in a solvent that I can provide. I can either show you how to do it or do it myself for the various reasons that one would do so. And one of the things that crystallizes in the environment in which we live in now is the desire to be excited, the desire to express excitement. And when we lose this desire, when this desire begins to reduce, it's considered a bit of a pathological situation. And yet Buddhism talks about dejection with samsara, having a dejected feeling towards samsara. And Bon talks about not exaggerating. See things as they are, and not exaggerate. So we're basically dealing with the same concept. So you might, some of the things that crystallizes for some people, and this is a plug for, there's some people have more of a crystallization that is attractive to finance, and some people have more of a crystallization that is rejecting of finance. And in order for both people to benefit from one another, they need to coordinate. And so that is something that my guru has done. I suspect, with the way that my speech has begun to crystallize a little bit more, that another group of people on the wish list of my guru have been funded, because people are curious about a topic that one of the ways of these, they are much more skilled than I am at waiting for that kind of thing, but time is of the essence. And when people want to look at it from mixing the rational point of view from the obedient point of view, the devotional point of view, just accepting and trusting that my guru gave you a list of people to pay, people to go see, and if you do go see them, that your path will continue. I took an incredible leap of faith to study Arabic. Now, he found ways to crystallize some of my excitement. Sometimes I find myself wondering, why did I become so passionate about languages? Why is it that languages give me a thrill? I can't even imagine it, but they do. And when we were talking about the beautiful goddesses yesterday, let me see, no, I've moved it. So, the beautiful goddesses of Ang and, Ang, Pang, or Am, Pam, Ham, Dam, Gam, Nam, and Sam. Or it could be Ng. Those goddesses, they have color, they have shape. They are beautiful teachers. And one of the things that I thought about yesterday is when I was reading in the Guya Garba, was that, you take and begins to emanate like electricity, countless ahs that fill all of space, and then those retract and come back into each other. And that caused me to think about my guru saying about how I had just assumed that's what he meant, that he had applied that because he had read this book. He's famously known for having read this book 10 times. And he says it's more than that. They stopped counting after 10. And that if you get a copy of the Guya Garba that has the Longchenpa, his full commentary on the 21 or 22, that you will come to understand everything my guru has said to any of you in the manner that it was intended. Maybe not the first time you read it. Maybe not the second time you read it. And you shouldn't read it back to back to back, right? You should read it one time and then go read some other stuff. What were the things that you didn't understand? Try to explore those topics. Did it trigger something? I have gotten to the point where I have anthropomorphized my memories of my guru to where I feel like he's still giving me orders. But maybe you're not there. Maybe you don't want to be there. Maybe you were in that set where you felt like you should only access these people in a state-dependent memory, and so that you could have another state-dependent memory that didn't include them. In that case, I don't know what to tell you. But I know that I had state-dependent memory, involuntary state-dependent memory encounters, and as well as voluntary encounters. And that I chose that I preferred that my ordinary state was the state that I would mark with my guru's words, having had the experience to know which was which. And one of the things that he told me to do was to transfer everything from my state-dependent memory of one. You can bridge the states of mind, and that you should do so. But it is a pathologically diagnosable condition to be dispassionate towards the world. However, if it makes you anxious, there's Lexapro.